I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again to our project here in DUMBO, Brooklyn, New York. Today we've got lots of interesting things going on in one of the bathrooms. We're putting in a marble vanity top, a stainless steel tub surround, and a Japanese toilet that is highly intelligent. Also taking you on a tour of old historic Brooklyn and meeting the borough president. Then when we come back here, we'll be up on the roof putting down an Ipe wood deck. Stick around. It's good to have you home again. Toto unveils the ultimate in luxury, the NeoRest, the first tankless toilet and integrated washlet cleansing system with the revolutionary Cyclone flush engine. That is the news release. Lenora Campos is here to tell us about it. Hi, Lenora.
Hi, Bob.
A high-tech toilet, huh?
Absolutely fabulous, isn't it?
From the Japanese.
Yes, from Toto.
And they have led the way in this kind of technology for personal hygiene for the last 10 or 20 years.
Exactly, exactly. This is a integrated toilet and washlet feature, so it's the first example of an aware product.
Now, is this the type of product that's very common in Japan?
Yes, actually, washlet products, personal cleansing systems are more commonplace than a microwave. So there are over 60% of households in Japan have a washlet.
More houses have a high-tech washlet toilet, which means people don't need to use tissue paper.
Correct.
Than they do microwave ovens.
Right.
Boy, that's hard to believe. Tell us how it works.
Okay. As I said, it's an aware product so that it's going to interact with the individual. So it's emitting, it's a sensor-operated product.
Can it tell the difference between a man coming to the presence of the machine?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It certainly can. If you hit this button on the remote, as you can see, the lid is rising.
Yeah. And then what about meeting the requirements for gallonage and water conservation?
Right. With the seat up, it recognizes that the individual using it will be, it'll be liquid waste, and it will flush at 1.2 gallons per flush. Oh. 4.4 gallons lower than the mandated 1.6. So you're getting more water conservation flush. Right.
So if it's liquid waste, it only uses 1.2 gallons. If it's solid waste, it uses the 1.6 gallons.
1.6, excellent.
And this is a tankless toilet, right?
Right.
How does that work?
It's coming straight off the water system in the back of the toilet. It will flush automatically, or you can use the remote here to flush it. This is an example of the Cyclone flush. As you can see out the back of the unit, it's swirling around the rim. It's building up speed and it's rotating around in what we call the cyclone action, going down like this. And then with the combination of siphonic flush, it pulls the waste out and you get an absolutely clean bowl with the 1.6 gallons per flush.
Every time. But what about the personal hygiene part of it, the washlet feature?
Okay.
How does that work?
This is the washlet function.
So this small component comes out and it's essentially a nozzle that sprays water.
Right, right. For the purposes of conceptual frame, we talk about it as a bidet, but what we've really done is take the bidet and move it into the 21st century. So as you can see, the washlet wand washes itself with a stream of water before it moves out into the bowl.
That could be kind of shocking. Is it warm water?
You control the water temperature. It's a heated seat, so you control the heat temperature. You control the dryer, because at the end of the washing cycle, you'll have a drying cycle.
So the drying cycle emits warm air?
Correct. So it will wash rear cleanse, you can have a rear soft cleanse, and it will do a front cleanse as well. So you control the direction of the spray, you control the heat of the spray. It's aerated water, and then you can also control the massage function. It will do an oscillating or a pulsating massage. Then it will also, you can extend the wand during a cleaning phase, which would make it easy to maintain.
Fabulous. I understand they're continually developing new features in Japan, but certainly this is the latest that we've seen in America. Thanks, Lenora.
Thank you, Bob.
Another feature in this master bath is this kind of antique-looking support for a marble slab with two lavs that are coming. And John Sedano, our plumber, is going to start bringing it in here. And I just want to lay down a bead of silicone at the very back just before they get here, because whenever you're seating marble on wood on a wall like this, it's a great idea to have a nice fat glob of the silicone. There you go, John. And these are these nice white marble tops that we're putting in many of the units here in DUMBO.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And the lavatories themselves are also from Toto. They're the white porcelain Dantesca undermount lavatories. These are like 19 inches, and that's a very nice size, 19 by 15. And it's an undermount, which is what you always want to specify when you're working with a nice stone slab like this, because it's a much cleaner look. Now, these legs will get a flange on the bottom, right, John?
Yes, it's a flange underneath, yes.
That flange on the top and a flange on the bottom, which will secure them in place. And the connections themselves to the drain and the hot water, or do we have to use chrome trim kits?
Yes, it's all chrome underneath there.
Okay. Now, the flooring that we've put down in the master bathroom here is a product that's man-made, and it's from Turkey, and it's called Simstone, and it's basically a quartz-based product, but it's incredibly hard and incredibly resistant to all sorts of chemicals and, you know, acid stains and the like. It's a good product. I've got a short piece that's later going to be up here as a base, but let's watch as Nick Taglios, our installer, put these down a few days ago. Nick started with a bed of dry mix. That's sand mixed with Portland cement and built up over a layer of felt paper and wire mesh.
Oh, you need me on? Since on top of you.
The tiles were each buttered with thin-set mortar using a notched trowel.
With the teeth.
Then Nick set them down over the dry mix and tamped them down until the tiles were set level. The bed is nearly 2 inches deep to accommodate any irregularity in the subfloor, as well as the considerable size of the tiles. These are 20 inches square.
That's the cut side, right?
Simstone is actually used a lot in commercial and industrial projects, especially in laboratories, where their stability, hardness, resistance to staining, acids, and alkalis is critical. Nick used a sawed-off striking hammer that he's adapted especially for this kind of job to gently tamp the tiles into place. So that's a neat product, and so is this. This is the Baldwin model soaker tub from Toto, and this is a lucite acrylic construction. It's a 72-inch tub, which means you're looking at a large tub, 22 inches deep, a real soaking tub. And I love how these go in, because they're drop-in, and you build a platform and a frame for them. And here what we've done is we've set the tub itself in a kind of a dry mix of cement, and then we've got the surround built for it out of steel studs. And my friend Al Enriquez is out here getting ready to bring in the stainless steel trim. You see, we've got sheet stainless steel, which I believe is 16 gauge?
16 gauge.
Right, 16 gauge that is mounted on plywood. And these panels fit together and then are trimmed out with a molding. I've got it. Yeah, go ahead. And the beauty here is that since it's not a Whirlpool tub, it doesn't require any kind of a motor there, we can close it in And we can add the moldings to dress it up. This has to be trimmed a little bit more. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, you got it in the right place. So that effectively, it's a very, very fine finish. Now, did you guys cut this on site?
No, this was actually manufactured for us. We sent out.
So it's fabricated at a job shop here in Brooklyn, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Good. Very elegant. Thanks, Al.
Okay.
Coney Island's fame as the playground for New Yorkers started in the late 1800s. But things really got rolling around here when the subway connected it to Manhattan in 1920. Suddenly, anyone with a nickel could make it out to the beach for a swim or a ride on the roller coaster at what was really America's first amusement park. As many as 1 million people a day flocked out here to get away from the city heat, and Coney Island was developed to entertain them. Well, we're taking a stroll now on the Coney Island boardwalk with Brooklyn Borough President Marty Markowitz. And before you were the Brooklyn Borough President, Marty, you were a state senator from New York for how many years?
23 long winters in Albany.
Well, you've had a long and distinguished career in public service.
Thank you.
You grew up coming to Coney Island, though, right?
This was the playground of all of us in Brooklyn and across New York City. It was I still think of it and remember it as exciting days. My mother used to take me and my younger sisters here, and for a very inexpensive amount of money, you'd have a full day here.
And the big red tower that we see off in the distance. Now, this is a historic structure that dates back to the World's Fair in '39. Did you ever
Sure
jump
does.
off of that thing?
Let me say I went there many, many times. Many of my friends would go on that parachute jump when it was working, and I used to always wave at them. Always. And when they came down, I asked them how it was, but never did I even imagine for one moment going on that ride, that's for sure.
But that did involve a parachute?
It did have more than one. There
Yeah.
were four parachutes, if I remember correctly. It took about 20 workers to make sure that the ride was operational. And of course, if the weather was poor, the ride was not able to take place. We hope that that'll become Brooklyn's Eiffel Tower.
Really?
And that's what we hope in the future, a magnificent lighting structure, and either a ride again or maybe a cafe and restaurant. It's a beautiful, beautiful location.
Well, there's a great opportunity here because, I mean, as you said a minute ago, this is Coney Island, which was the playground of New York City going back to the 1880s and 90s and thereabouts, and the famous hot dogs and everything else. People were out here for a nickel on the subway. In the last 2 or 3 decades, things have changed here.
Well, I have to tell you, in the last number of years, certainly the last 4 or 5 years, Coney Island is getting to be better than ever. And what I mean by that is the boardwalk is repaired, the water is clean, the beaches have been taken care of excellently. We have a new invigorated amount of business people that have really made this a beautiful location. It's clean, it's safe, well lit, well policed, and along with now the #1 minor league team in America, the Brooklyn Cyclones, together with all of the attractions, the Wonder Wheel and the roller coaster that defined America.
The attractions
the
are
Cyclone.
here. Yeah.
Everything is here. So this makes, not only for New York City residents, but when tourists come into New York, I envision that they'll go from Midtown, take the ferry, come right to Coney Island, and have a great day trip right here. Because we've got the original rides, and we represent some of the past and some of the future right here in Coney Island. And the Wonder Wheel that you see there is one of the largest in America, owned by the Voudouris family, and the Alberts own Astroland. And these two represent the states of all the others in America that try to copy. They emulated, they tried their best. But these are the originals.
Right.
You can never replace the originals,
This is where
ever.
the amusement park was invented, absolutely. So, do you think in the next few years you will be able to draw tourism and the hotel industry and such?
I tell you why I'm confident. When I go on a cruise every now and then, one of the stops they make at Key West, Florida.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Key West, in Margaritaville, and
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett, and Hemingway, but the truth, and key lime pie. I'll grant you that. They got good
the
key
right-
lime pie.
yeah.
But Brooklyn's got better cheesecake, but that's another story.
And they got the Nathan's hot
But
dogs.
we got the Nathan hot dogs for sure. But Brooklyn represents such a richness of diversity, meaning you can come to Brooklyn and visit Russia, right here, by the way, in this community, and you can visit
Because of the
Poland.
immigrant population
Absolutely,
here.
and you can visit Poland, you can visit Greece and Spain and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and China. You can visit Pakistan, the Caribbean. You got so many great countries that you can visit, and historical African American communities among the largest in America. as well as beautiful brownstone communities, and and great cultural attractions with the Brooklyn Museum of Art and the Brooklyn Academy of Music and the Brooklyn Philharmonic.
Sure.
Actually, Brooklyn was a city. It was until 1898. It was one of the largest cities in America. I don't know how that vote got away from us back then to become part of the rest of, quote, New York City. But even if we were a city today, in my mind, we're still a city. We're one of the largest in America.
Come on, Marty, I'll buy you another hot dog.
Great.
Well, we're back in Dumbo, and we're back on the roof. And it's a noisy place. There's lots of activity, not just here in our building, but also on the street. Down below, we've got a crew of welders that are creating an accessibility ramp for the building across the street, which is the same vintage as ours. It's mid-19th century, and you can see the antique patina on all the bricks. And if you look at the top, you can see the same kind of picket railing that we have here that we built a few weeks ago. And if you look down the end of the block, that's the Brooklyn Bridge, where they created a boardwalk for pedestrians and bicyclists about 10 years ago using a Brazilian hardwood known as ipe. And it's a sustainable product. And one of the interesting things about it, from what I've heard, is that there are actual mineral particles in this wood that make it unpalatable to any kind of insects. So anyway, we're putting it down for the decking here on our exterior space. And Al Enrique, who's doing the countersinking and the drilling, is doing probably one of the most important parts of working with ipe, because you can't drive nails through it. It's so hard that if you try to drive nails through it, you're just going to bend your nails all the time. So what you see is the two-man team here, and pre-drill the holes with one drill using just a regular bit, and then he's got another cordless drill that's using a countersinking bit. And that way, when you create the hole and the countersink, all of the screws will be driven flat so that they, are flush with the surface of the wood. Al, they're not galvanized, are they?
No, they're coated, special coated for outdoor use.
And they look like they're 2 1/4 number 9s. And this probably is a very good product to use with the ipe. There's less chance of splitting, and this is such a hard wood that you don't have to worry about that too much. So we're just cutting 1/4-inch spacers from the wood, which you can split so that you can get 2 or 3 out of them. That's one way of maintaining uniformity throughout the decking. All right, well, this is going to be major outdoor living space. Take a look at the actual decking joists, which are pressure treated, but they've been ripped at an angle to correspond with the slope of the roof. And they're just shimmed with cedar, which you can leave in place because it'll last forever. And then over here, you've got the first step. Because of the nature of the slope of the roof, we've got to have one step here, then the decking continues for another 10 feet, and there'll be an additional 3rd level all the way to the back of it. So they still have a ways to go, but we're out of time. Come home again next time. We're going to be dealing with some of the interior finishes in the top floor unit. We'll show you a plastering process that's known as marmarino. It involves marble dust. And we'll also meet the young fellow who's going to be doing some of our interior design work and actually tour his little studio in Soho. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again. Visit bobvila.com for everything you need to get the job done right. You'll find Home Again highlights, interactive tools for planning your next project, and helpful how-to articles for every room in your home. bobvila.com, the ultimate home site.